Alright, so we're checking out the Epicka Air 65 watt universal travel adapter, and this is the box it came in. We'll take a close look at this, including the adapter in the box. You get a small user's guide, we'll look at that as well, and a small cloth carrying pouch. Now, this is a 65 watt adapter for those of you that travel overseas, and it has multiple interfaces here that I'll talk about here in a second. But this nice small thing can charge a laptop, which I'll show you a little later in the video. Stick around. Up to 65 watts on this USB-C port. And just to compare my current laptop charger, power brick doesn't even show up. It's so huge. It's like literally 3-4 times the size of this adapter. So if you happen to have a large adapter like that, a power adapter for your laptop, and 65 watts is enough for your laptop, then you can shrink down to a smaller size here. And obviously, you can charge up to 5 devices. So these, the USB-A ports, 2 USB-C ports here are 15 watts, and then the larger under C3, this is 65 watts, and then you of course have the AC output here that you're going to adapt to. So 5 things can output power at the same time, and it's not a voltage converter. So in some countries, like for example in the US, it's like 110, 120. Other countries, it's like 220, 240. Now it just passes through whatever voltage you plug it into. So if your country is 220 and you plug it in and you plug your device into here, it will output 220. So if your device cannot accept 220, if it only works on 110, then it will probably have a big problem. It probably won't even work. Or you may cause like a potential over voltage problem and potentially a fire. So just be aware of that. There is I think an 8 amp fuse inside here. So if there's some sort of a feedback loop or something and there's a surge on this one, they will pop that, and for safety reasons. But just remember, this is not a voltage converter. So if your device can do 110, a lot of like higher end, more expensive devices can do dual voltage, so they'll be rated for 110 in the US and then can do 240 elsewhere. And so you can plug that in, of course, because it is rated for that. But then there's some that are just 110 only, and then or 220. So if it's 220 and it can only do 220, and you take it to the US and try to do 110, it may not even power up at all. So just be aware. You want to look at the device you're going to be plugging in here. Hair dryers, whatever, typically can only do 1 voltage and not dual voltages. So just look into that. Now, if you are looking for a travel adapter that can do more than 65 watts, I did do a review on this one here. This is a really nice 140 watt. This is the Pulse. Obviously, it's bigger because it's going to output more power, but similar in this profile, but obviously a lot thicker. So if you missed that video, I'll link this one in the video description. You can check that one out. And this one has 140 watts of power. So if you need more, check out that other one. All right, just a quick look at the manual. And here are the ratings for input and output. On the USB-A, again 15 watts. C1 and C2 are 15 watts. And then again, C3 is 65 watts. So you can have different combinations there, but of course it's going to be lower. So A plus C1 or C2 is going to give 15 watts. C1 plus C2 is 15 watts. And then A, C1, C2 plus C3 is equal to 15 watts plus 40 watts total. So if you want the 65 watts max, you should just plug in that one device on C3 and they'll give you the max 65 watts. So little instructions on how to use the adapter, get the little adapter plugs out. I will just show you that here in a second. And again, here's that warning on it not being a voltage converter. Feel free to read that if you want a little more details. Alright, so showing here the compatible sockets, and you got your basically type G, and then here are the other ones here for France, Belgium, Poland, E, L, F, K, O, J, N, and C, and so all those countries there. And then we got type A, B, and I on these countries as well. And in terms of all the plugs that are accepted, here is the full chart. So pause the video if you want to look that over. Okay, so to get the different adapters out, are very straightforward. So here's one of them right here. Just pivots out, and then you just plug it into the wall, and then you plug in your AC device in here. If you don't want to plug in anything AC, these USB plugs will be powered off of this power here. And we'll just push that down back again. To get this plug out, you pull up on the center pin right here, and then just both these pivot out and it locks into place, like so. Very ingenious design. Push that down, put it away. Pull this out, you're going to push down on this lever. If you don't push down, it's locked, so it prevents it from sliding out. So push down, then slide out, and then release, and then it should lock into place. And of course, this is your typical US design here, and then I think you just rotate this. I think it's either this way or the other way, I forget which one, probably doesn't matter. So you get the, I guess it's Australia. Alright, so I got the travel adapter via USB-C plugged into my laptop here, and it's all powered up and charging. And right now it is outputting about 58 watts here on this little USB-C power meter. Obviously this can draw more, but right now it's kind of just not really doing anything, so it's not even maxing out this power adapter. It's a pretty nice little laptop, 14-inch that I've had for a while. But yeah, from whenever I travel, if I'm going to be taking my laptop with me, if I'm going overseas, or not, I mean, I actually just use this as a replacement laptop adapter, and it also is a universal travel adapter. And I don't have to carry that giant brick around anymore, so I'm pretty happy about that. But that's going to cover my video on the Epicka Air 65 watt universal travel adapter. Check out the link in the description if you guys want to pick one of these up. And again, the review on the 140 watt universal travel adapter will also be linked in the description. That'll do it for this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.